tested, used in English.
This is for educational purposes only.
We don't really give a fuck about that. We care about the beginning of this shit. Right? So your rapture that you're looking for, you're stupid as fuck. That shit happened when you people got salvation. Second Ezra, okay? Go into the book of Second Ezra. I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you. I'm going to help you. We're going to go to sacred text in the public library, and we're going to go to the Apocrypha, Second Ezra, and we're going to jump into chapter 1. Let's see if we can find this. Okay, so you want to understand what your Jesus did for you, right? Alright, what did Jesus do for the Caucasians that are Christians to this very day that they failed to see? He allowed the atrocity of a rapture. Alright, so let's read about this together. Now, we'll start at verse 35. Second Ezra chapter 1, we're going to start at verse 35. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do that I have commanded them. They have seen no prophets. Message, Christians. Yet they shall call their sins to remembrance. Oh, we're the children of Adam and we're God. No. And we're going to be saved by Jesus. You forgot that the rapture is what got you motherfuckers over here so you could be saved. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones will rejoice in gladness, and though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the things that I say. Well, of course you've got to believe it, because God, right, through the acts of this quote-unquote Jesus that's not real, gave you salvation in the land of Asheroth, the New World, or the Americas. Now, see, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will be their leaders. Do you see? Now you Christians should understand clearly what's happening here. You're believing in a lie. But let's continue. We've got more evidence. So we want to deal with some of the things that went on when you people came here through the bull papacy. This is your rapture. This is the possession of the demon, or the daemon, right? This is the possession of what belongs to the Most High. This is it, the rapture. The issue of genocide in American Indian history, and let me share briefly with you again, Indians, those quote-unquote Mongoloids that you see that have come from the other side, your world, who are actually your cousins because they're intermingled with the quote-unquote Aryan or the Turk, they're your family. They're not the ones that went through these horrific things. They're not. So the quote-unquote American or the Israel or the jewels of the Most High, history has been continuous. Many writers see the massive depopulation of the indigenous, now that's a more clear word, indigenous population of the Americas after 1492 is a clear-cut case of the genocide. Other writers, however, contend that European and U.S. actions toward the jewels of the Most High were deplorable, but were rarely, if ever, genocidal. Oh, they weren't genocidal, were they? To a significant extent, disagreements about the pervasiveness of genocide in the history of the post-Columbian Western Hemisphere, Asheroth, the New World or Americas in general, and U.S. history in particular pivot on definitions of genocide. Conservative definitions emphasize intentional actions and policies of governments that result in a very large population losses, usually from direct killing. Technically, directly, you slaughtered off hundreds of millions. Most liberal definitions call for less stringent criteria for intent. Focusing more on outcomes, they do not necessarily require direct sanction by state authorities. Rather, they identify societal forces and actors. They also allow for several intersecting forces of destruction, including dispossession and disease. Disease, right? taking possession, right? Because debates about genocide easily devolve into quarrels about definitions. And it's all about definitions. That's why you, the Christian, are as fucking ignorant as you are. An open-ended approach to the question of genocide that explores several phases and events provides the possibility of moving beyond the present stalemate. However, one resolves the question of genocide in American jewels of the Most High history. It is important to recognize that European and U.S. settler colonial projects unleashed massively destructive forces on the descendants of Adam and their communities. So the colonial or the colonists, that would be you, Christian, with your Jesus, your cross. This is you through your rapture, right? Because the Most High Jesus that you call him the Most High as if he's God. Your Jesus gave you the authority. Now, who gave you the authority? We know this was the Catholic organization, the Pope. So you're looking at your Pope who has given you the authority to come over here and demonically possess, to come over here and rapture. Now you say, we didn't do this. And I say, you did. Doesn't matter. What you're looking for to happen, you're looking in the wrong places. You need to go look in the mirror and see what's coming is directly for you. And only you. And, well, a few other people are involved, but mainly you as the Christian, not knowing it's for you. You're going to be shocked and surprised when you see that you are essentially Egypt, because we are, and again, enslaved in bondage. And this is what Egypt is, the house of bondage. That is why we are enslaved, and you're living so happily. As 2nd Ezra tells you, I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones, all your babies, rejoice in gladness, because they've got the fruit, the milk and the honey, the fat of the earth. They've got Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to believe in. That's who you have. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to believe in. But that story just sets you up for your greatest failure. Now, I want to read something else for you so you understand how vile the things are that you did, and that you have certainly worked hard for what's coming for you. This is what you did, so you best know what you did, all right? So owners of enslaved people, now this didn't happen to the Mongoloid people. This didn't happen to the Mongo Turk. This is not what happened to them. They've been getting paid, okay? The government's been fucking paying them to keep their mouths shut about what the fuck happened. I told you these people are getting $9,000 a month checks. Their kids are paid through college. They get all this fucking help from the government to keep their mouths shut. But this did happen to the Jews. Again, Hitler, he tells you, look at this video, right? He tells you who the Jews are, right? So this happened to a particular people. So owners of enslaved people claim they were doing black women a favor by having sex with them. Now you see, Christian, how your mind works? You're doing a favor to the Most High's Jew, his children, the descendants of Adam. You see what you're doing? Enslaved women were forced to have sex with their owners. Forced. They didn't want to. They were forced to have sex with their owners. But their masters considered this a favor. It's a favor. I'm doing you a favor by forcing you to have sex with me. Come on, Christian. Come on. This is your rapture. This is your demonic possession. You even possess the women, right? White men often claim they were doing black women a favor by saving them from having sex with black men who were considered to be animalistic and brutal. Now, you're saying that the first fruit, the children, I made my children in my image. So to say that the black man, right, the black man is animalistic and brutal is to say that God, who has made his children, descendants of Adam, into his image, are animalistic and brutal. So you've effectively said God's an animal and he's brutal. Enslaved women known as mammies did more than cook and clean. They were often expected to be extremely affectionate to their masters. Many people know that enslaved women, known as mammies, worked in their masters' homes rather than out in the fields. But this certainly didn't make life any easier for the women. They were sometimes expected to be incredibly affectionate and intimate with their owners, more so than other enslaved individuals. If they ever resisted any intimate advance, they might be subjugated to incredibly harsh punishment such as beatings or rape. Beatings or rape. Let's see if they got some more. Let's see. Oh, we got some more. There's the mammy. There's the Christian. Mammy, women were usually dressed to be representation of their master's wealth. Many mammy women were not dressed in the same tattered clothing that other slaves often donned. The women who worked in the master's homes were often dressed in much nicer clothes, but not out of kindness or respect. Mammy women were considered to be a representation of the master's wealth. In other words, the nicer their mammy woman was dressed, the wealthier the master was perceived to be. Ain't that about nothing? Look at the curly afro on that woman, huh? Huh? You've come and demonically possessed, right? You have raptured up the jewel of the Most High. Enslaved women known as Jezebels. Now, the Jezebel is an enslaved woman were sometimes raped. Now listen to this now. A Jezebel is an enslaved woman were sometimes raped and then accused of being promiscuous. They were raped and then called whores. You raped the enslaved jewel of the Most High and then said that they were whores. A certain group of enslaved women were deemed Jezebels by their owners. These women were assumed, who's talking? Who is talking on my page? Get out of here. All right. These women were assumed to be more promiscuous than the other enslaved black women and were often subjugated to sexual abuse multiple times throughout the day. You raped them multiple times throughout the day. Now listen, Christian. You're looking for the rapture. I'm showing you the rapture. I am showing you the rapture. I'm even showing you demonic possession. But you're going to argue with me even though you now know where you can find out the correct definitions to these things. Your Jesus gave you permission to come over here and save yourself by slaughtering the sheep. Now, who do the sheep belong to? The sheep belong to the Most High God. There isn't but one God. You, man, have deemed yourself a God. You have given yourself the name as Jesus Christ, and you have deemed yourself the God. You have set your throne above the Most High. Now, you're reading all this stuff out of the Bible without any understanding because you are what? You are the Indo-Aryan that must imagine things outwardly because you do not hear the Creator inwardly because you are not a descendant from Adam. And I will give you Samuel Seawall one more time. Paul forcefully warns the colonists that his religious book of legal statutes is of everlasting equity. Accordingly, Seawall sardonically warns the colonists, caveat emptor, capital punishment underscores the atrocity of capital punishment underscores, it's an underscore for the rapture. The rapture that you have committed is beyond capital punishment. You need something far greater than capital punishment. These Ethiopians, as black as they are, seeing they are the sons and daughters of the first Adam, the first fruit of the Most High, the brethren and the sisters of the last Adam, the first and last, the Alpha and the Omega. Who the fuck are you, Christian? Caucasian, Aryan, Turk, Mongoloid. Who are you? Ask that question. Who are you? You are not from the Creator. Now, there's a few things we can go into, especially when we start talking about formed from the dirt. Well, we already understand that a golem can be formed from the dirt, right? Golems can be formed from the dirt. So you bring a book over here telling your story and your history, didn't you? And your history is in there, but you don't accept your history. You don't. And you don't even realize that it was you who raptured up the Most High's children. It is you who has demonically possessed them. So let's continue. While white men forced these Jezebels to have sex with them, they insisted that it was the enslaved woman's fault for being so promiscuous. Yes, it is her fault for looking so damn good. Is it her fault she looks so damn good? Huh? Let's continue. Owners of enslaved women usually took no responsibility or ownership of the babies they had with these women, bastardized children. Many of the enslaved women would become pregnant after